coming up on Marriage Today with Jimmy and Karen.
Even though we were so opposite, I could see into his heart. And I could see past the achiever.
Yeah.
And I could see that there really was somebody in there I could connect with.
The differences that we have actually make our marriages stronger when we understand them and embrace them. Welcome to Marriage Today. I'm Jimmy Evans. I want to welcome you to a very special program because we're talking about our differences and making our differences dynamic rather than being dangerous. In many marriages, we're different by God's design. You're just not going to marry a person just like you. If you marry a normal man, a normal woman, they're just different. You want to be compatible, and that means that you share the same values and character and beliefs in God and things like that. So compatibility is important. But even when you're compatible, you're still very different. And early in our marriage, Karen and I, we just simply did not understand that we were different by God's design. I thought Karen was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen and the weirdest woman I'd ever seen. And I told her that. I rejected her, I shamed her, she rejected me. And we fought like cats and dogs because we simply didn't understand. We both had strengths that we brought into the relationship and that they were different. Karen's number one strength in marriage is my number 34. We're talking about a strengths-based marriage. There are 34 strengths possible. We don't have 34 strengths, but there's 34 possible. And what that means is you marry someone very different than you. God wired you that way, to marry someone different than you, and it means they have different strengths. And when you bring your strengths together, it makes a strong marriage. But when you reject each other and judge each other the way that we did early in our marriage, it makes a very dangerous scenario. So we want to talk to you in this program today about how you can understand your strengths, how you can share your strengths in marriage and respect those and have the marriage of your dreams. Today I want to share with you an incredible revelation that I wish we had years ago. Karen and I recently completed our Clifton Strength Finder assessment with strength coach Alan Kelsey, and here's what we discovered.
So Jimmy, let's talk about yours. Your number one is achiever. And for people with achiever, their desire is just to get things done. They make lists of things. They love to check things off their lists and move on. Does that resonate with you in some way?
Oh yeah, I love to wake up in the morning with a sense of what I'm going to get accomplished, not just for that morning, but futuristically also. And it gives me a great amount of satisfaction to know that I'm checking the list off.
So you literally wake up and you automatically have a sense of what's going to be done on that day and what you're going to try to get done.
Oh yeah.
Does that happen for you, Karen?
I don't do that.
Yeah, do you think that way?
No. And I've just learned, okay, he's going to have to get this done. Like when we moved into a new house, he's got to get everything done right then, right away. And I mean, like, da-da-da-da. I haven't even unpacked my last box, and he's already got all the workmen scheduled for when they need to come in and get it all.
Okay.
Okay, do we have to do it so fast? Yes, we need to get this done right now.
Yeah.
And I know it frustrates her sometimes, but...
Because I need this process.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just need that process of, wait, I need to know how this is going to really look, how this is going to affect the whole thing. And
But when you see our top strengths side by side, that I'm an achiever, Karen's empathy, it's a good match because I am a get-it-done guy.
Yeah.
But sometimes I can be insensitive. And sometimes I'm not even in touch with my own feelings. And so one of the things that Karen has done to balance my achiever is to help me feel. And to sometimes know I'm going too fast, I'm doing too much, and kind of need to ratchet that back, but I am an achiever.
All right, so your number two strength is self-assurance. And people with this ability, this God-given natural ability, just have a sense of confidence about what they believe in, and they intuitively understand that this approach that they've developed is going to bring the correct outcome, and it very often does. So how's that served you, or how have you seen that in the way that you use it?
Well, when I was younger, I think I was cocky, and I felt confident. I never felt a lack of confidence in any situation. And I had insecurities, but it was more related to things I'd been through in life, and things like that. But related to, can I do that? I always felt very self-assured.
Yeah.
And I would say today, I feel self-assured that God, that the Lord's presence in my life, His call on my life, so on and so forth, that because of God, not because of me in a humanistic way, I feel confident that I can do whatever I need to do.
I love self-assurance because people who have it are they're so convinced about the good that they're involved with that it becomes very compelling and easy to follow.
Right.
So it gives me a sense of confidence to follow those things. So number 3 on the list is command. And people with command have a natural tendency to make good decisions. They love to be the decision maker. And they have this ability to bring structure and order to things in a way that facilitates advancement in some way. Have you used that or seen that in your family structure maybe?
Oh yeah. Early in our marriage, I was dominant. And so I would, the command was dominance, I just ruled the roost. And today I'm command, but I include Karen, and I make good decisions together with her.
Yeah.
But I feel like that I can make good decisions, again, with the Lord, with prayer and with, consulting God, consulting Karen and whatever. I believe I can make good decisions, but I've never had a fear of decision making. I've never had a fear of being the top guy that was responsible.
Yeah. I love command because for me, people with command have this draw. They're drawn to the scary decisions. And most of us don't have the confidence to be bold enough to say, I'll take that. I'll be the guy who makes the yes or the no when all of that is on it. And so I'm grateful for folks that have that ability.
I read the story of David and Goliath, and I think to myself, I would attack Goliath.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I relate to that. I see that as, sure.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of the strength.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it's not just stupidity,
Sure.
Of trying to do something you can't do. But for people who don't have it, to understand a person, it's not cockiness. It's just a sense of who I am in God.
Yeah.
And I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's followed up by number 4, which is relator. And this one I find fascinating because you've got this theme going of these really good task-oriented, executing kind of activities. And then there's this turn and it becomes so relational immediately at number 4, and it's relator. And so people with relator are just genuinely, naturally fantastic at relationships. And I think that can be attractive to people like me who don't have it. And I'm drawn to you. I want to be a friend of yours because you're so naturally good at it. So where have you seen this play out in your life?
I like people. I mean, I've always been able to get along with people, and I genuinely like people. And I like, and honestly, the way I feel about Alan, I see good in people. I see good in bad people. And so when I see, and I really believe it's a God-given thing, is I like people. Now, I don't like a lot of deep relationships because Karen likes that, but I like knowing people and being friends with people.
Yeah. One of the side effects of having relator is I understand that people with relator need transparency, and it's kind of a two-way street. You need to be able to be transparent in some format, and you need transparency from other people. And because this is a currency that you trade with quite a bit, your ability to sniff out transparency is really, really pretty finely tuned.
Absolutely.
And so if someone comes and is kind of posing or fronting, you can pick that up pretty quick, and it can even put a little distance between you and that person if you're nervous.
Absolutely. I'm very keen on that. I don't have time for it. And I don't trust people like that. If I feel like you're insincere, or that you have an agenda or something, I just kind of do this.
You just get a little distance right there. It makes it safer.
But the people that I enjoy relating to are just real people.
Yeah.
And Karen's the same way.
Yeah. All right, so the last one is learner on your top 5. And people with learner, obviously, it's just what the word says. You just love to learn. You have this insatiable curiosity. You love to gather new facts. And I have it too. And so what I've discovered is this quirky side effect of having learner is that I love to tell what I know. And sometimes these random facts are just totally random and they're useless to anybody else. I feel compelled to share them with people. So my poor wife has to deal with me splurting these crazy random facts on her, and she just looks at me so patiently like, okay, thank you for telling me, I think.
I love to learn, and I love, when I was in school, I was ADD. I was not a good learner in a structured environment. just simply because it was hard for me to pay attention. But I love to get by myself, and I love to read books, and I love to gather information, and I love to, and part of what I enjoy doing is taking chaos or something complicated and making it simple and ordered. So I love to, just like marriage, teaching on marriage, I love to take things that are not understood and to understand them and to organize them and help other people understand it.
To tell about
that's one of the greatest passions of my life.
So as an achiever, you love to get things done. When you're interacting with her, she's displaying this unintentional perspective that says, I'm kind of not interested in getting a lot of stuff done. When you saw that, did that rub you wrong, or how did you deal with that difference?
Well, early in our marriage, I shamed it. I mean, I rejected it, and I would just shame her. And it was like, you're just kind of like a deadbeat. You just want to feel and talk, and and I want to change the world and get all this stuff done. But I'm thankful for it because she keeps me normal. Because without her, I would do too much. I would not be domestically centered. My heart would not have been turned toward my children.
Yeah.
I would have been one of those guys that just went out and built a big company and made money and brought it home to a miserable family. But Karen tethered me emotionally to the home. And when we first got married, I mean, we both rejected each other. We both thought the other person was damaged. But today we see, and this is what I love about the book that we wrote, Alan, and about helping people understand their strengths. It's a strength.
Yes.
Her empathy and her developer and all these other things, these are strengths that she brings to our home. I look at how different we are, and I look at it from the past and say it was a killer to be so different. I look at it today and say, this book that we've written and all that we're doing, if someone would have handed us a book before we got married and helped us to understand our top 5 strengths, it would have transformed our marriage. It would have kept us from years of misunderstanding, arguments, whatever. Because today, when I look at Karen through this prism, and I'm looking at her strengths, I'm saying, wow, what an incredible woman. What a great partner to have. Back then, I didn't understand that, so I just thought, she's weird. And she's thought the same about me. So I believe that the differences that we have actually make our marriages stronger when we understand them and embrace them. People say to Karen and me all the time that they're just kind of surprised that, how we talk about our marriage and how we're so transparent. But we love it. We really do, because it helps other people. And as you could hear as a part of that interview with Alan Kelsey, who's the strength expert, we're very, very different people by God's design. And there was a time that we rejected each other, didn't understand each other. But it's just so wonderful to live in a marriage where we know we're different, we celebrate that, but to understand not just our differences, but our different strengths. That's what makes a strong marriage. We want you to have these resources that are a part of the strength-based marriage resource that we have. And we want to begin with your gift of any amount with a teaching that I do. It's called The Healing Journey of Marriage. We want to give you the CD single or the MP3 download for your gift of any amount right now to help us at Marriage Today to take this message back to you, but across America, around the world, helping couples thrive in marriage and keeping families together, keeping little children together with their parents. When you help us here at Marriage Today, we want to bless you, but that's what you're helping us to do, is to help people in marriage. For your gift of $55 or more, we want to send you the book. Alan and I wrote the book, Strength-Based Marriage, that this whole resource, these programs are a part of. We're going to send you the book. The book has 2 hours of resource footage that's a part of it, video footage. Plus, we're going to send you the CD series, 4-part CD series, Lifelong Love Affair. It's a seminar that I do, really give you some tremendous information on how to have a lifelong love affair with your spouse the way God designed. For your gift of $90 or more, we're going to send you the Strength-Based Marriage book with the video series of Lifelong Love Affair 4-part series. We want to bless you. We want to help you in your marriage. And as you're listening to me right now, you may be thinking, something, I've got a friend that's struggling, or a family member, or a child getting married, or something like that, and these would really be a blessing to them. Absolutely. It might be that you would use it for yourself to encourage yourself in marriage, but it also might be that you want to get these for somebody else. We want you to support us here at Marriage Today, and we want to be a blessing to you in return. Here's how you can get these life-changing resources.
Discover you and your spouse's unique strengths and how they affect every part of your relationship. Strengths-Based Marriage, a new book from Jimmy Evans and Gallup-certified strengths coach Alan Kelsey, takes the concepts from the popular Clifton StrengthsFinder assessment and applies them to marriage.
There are 34 strengths that describe the way that you are motivated to behave in any given situation.
Understanding your strengths and how they relate to marriage is life-changing.
Support Marriage Today with your best online gift of any amount, and we'll send you the healing journey of marriage. Get the book Strengths-Based Marriage for your gift of $55 or more. Over 2 hours of video footage from the authors is included with the book purchase. We'll also include Jimmy's popular CD series, Lifelong Love Affair. For your gift of $90 or more, you'll receive the Strengths-Based Marriage book with video footage, plus the entire Lifelong Love Affair series on DVD. Build a stronger relationship by understanding each other's gifts. Get your copy today.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Evans, and I want to invite you to join Marriage Today for a global, life-changing event that is sure to reignite love and passion in the marriages in your community. I'm talking about becoming a simulcast host site for XO Conference 2017 on February 10th and 11th for the world's largest marriage event. Join Karen and me, along with our friend Shannon Etheridge, John Gray, and some special surprise guests. For the first time, your church will have the opportunity to simulcast the XO Conference's Friday daytime sessions. That's 4 extra speakers you'll hear from on topics like sex and intimacy, conflict resolution, blended families, and more. Karen and I will also conclude the simulcast with our signature vow renewal. Hosting is easy, and Marriage Today will help equip you with everything you need to host a successful simulcast. Apply to host today at marriagetoday.com/simulcast. Together, we can restore the dream of marriage.
Hello, I'm Alan Kelsey, strengths coach and co-author of the book Strengths-Based Marriage. You know, over 50 years of research from Gallup has shown that there are 34 strengths across all people and all cultures. And if you find that you and your spouse share several of your top strengths, you'll soon realize that this presents unique challenges. Even if your strengths are similar, you're two very different people who need to work hard at understanding one another. Now, we're going to discuss how you and your spouse can find common ground and have a balanced, fulfilling relationship. I think the best place to start is really just to look briefly at each of the strengths that you have, just to kind of get us on the map, you know? So Emily, ladies first, right? That's where it's got to be. You go positivity right off the bat. Woo. Boy, a lot of people have questions about that. Developer, belief, and relator. But then Justin, you have belief also, you have positivity also, but then you get strategic in the middle there. You also have woo, and then you have activator. So you share 3 of the same strengths. They're in different places, but you share 3 of the same strengths. That's fascinating. Is there anything about your strengths that you would say, I just genuinely don't like this? Like this piece drives me nuts. I wish I could get rid of it.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if I wish I'd get rid of it,
Okay.
but I think developer is one that I'm kind of like, oh, because I see a lot in people. We were in youth ministry for a while, and so like I see something in one of our kids, and I just can't stop like trying to reach it. So it's real exhausting sometimes. So sometimes I wish I wasn't. Maybe that wasn't so...
As much of a developer?
Right, yeah, as much of a developer, or maybe I had blinders on. But I think it's just like, I just see this, you know, this awesomeness in whoever, and I just want to pull it out. But sometimes it's exhausting for me, and I exhaust a lot of time.
So where's the pain? That you see it more than they do, or that you want it more than they do?
I think so. I think so. Like for one of our students individually, I saw a lot of myself in her.
Okay.
And so I'm like, I know she could potentially be here, but she doesn't see it. And so it's just like, I've got to get her to see it. I've got to get her to see it. And eventually she did. So that was like a win for me because she's amazing. But, you know, having a family, and I'm really intentional. So it took a lot of time emotionally. I was very intentional on trying to help her develop into this person that I knew she could be. So I definitely think that's one that I would change
Yeah.
or,
Okay.
you know, say, I could get rid of that for a little while.
So how about you?
I would say that what I think is my greatest strength is my belief, which is my number one. But it has mixed with the positivity, it has this giant faith mechanism that happens on the inside of me. And so it's that, man, I believe till I believe, till I believe, till I believe, and I'm not wavering on it. So much so that, similar to the developer that she has, that I have this faith for this person. And when they can't believe it themselves, I believe it for them. And when they don't know how to believe, then I want to activate it in them.
Got it?
But and then there's this positive spin, and just some people just aren't ready. And that's one of the hardest things. I think it's one of the hardest things in marriage.
Yeah.
Through the process, it's definitely one of the hardest things in parenting. Our oldest is 8, so we haven't reached the adolescent age, but we threw all our youth kids in there, and they were our teenagers. And when they're just not ready, they're just not ready.
Right.
And it's so hard being in that position. I can't imagine as a parent being in that position of like, I see the best in you. I know what you're capable of. And I believe, like without a shadow of a doubt, I have this faith that's immovable right now, that this is gonna happen. You're gonna come out of this thing.
Yeah.
And they're just like, nope, I'm not.
Not all couples are like this, but some got married and started their lives without knowing each other's strengths and knowing what that language does to helping us with our communication. So if that happened with you, talk to me a little bit about what was life like before, and then once you'd taken the test, how was your marriage changed by the information, or what happened with that?
I feel like it just makes you more sensitive to how your spouse works, or like their inner workings. And it definitely makes you more aware of why they say some of the things that they say, or why certain things they're so particular about, or not, in a sense. So I definitely feel like that it's strengthened our marriage for sure. Just being able to recognize those strengths, recognize what they are, what the similarities are, but also what they are differently, and kind of just being able to play off of that. And just encourage each other where we lack, but knowing what it says about us, you know, what God says about us.
Right.
You know?
Fewer and fewer people are being married because many people don't understand it. Many people fear it. When marriage is no longer respected, couples begin to separate and their children begin to suffer. There has never been this type of an assault on the institution of marriage as there is right now. Marriage Today, we're the leading voice on television and visual medium. We're the leading voice in the world. We're the only people on television every day helping people to succeed in marriage and family relationships from a biblical perspective. We are across America and over 110 million households every day, and also 200 countries around the world. We are helping families, but we can only do what support from people like you allows us to do. And here's what we want to do. We want to end this year well so we can make our plans for 2017 and continue to expand our outreaches to families. Karen and I are asking you to stand with us. Right now, your end of the year giving is critical. We are raising God's standard, God's word, to help families heal, to help families stay together and little children stay together with their parents. But we are standing and we're asking you to stand with us. Would you give your most generous gift right now? The information's right there on your screen of how you can respond. But I'm asking you to become a partner with us in this ministry. God bless you. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this program today. And the purpose of this program and this series of programs that we're doing on strengths-based marriage is to help you to understand that you can have the marriage of your dreams, but you need to understand each other. What I love about the Clifton Strength Finder, the 34 strengths that Alan has been talking about in the interview today, you know, you see how Karen and I have such different strengths, but we make a great team. Early in marriage, we didn't understand that. We fought like cats and dogs. We rejected each other. We shamed each other. And for us, marriage was not a healing journey the way that God intended. It was a very damaging journey. We were damaging each other because we rejected each other. Today, we're very, very different people, but it's so wonderful when something happens, when Karen does something or I do something, rather than seeing that as a weakness and judging it and rejecting it, I look at Karen doing something and I realize that's her strength. She's very different than me. And thank God, in the areas that I'm weak, she's strong. And yeah, we share some things in common. That's a good thing. But there are many areas of our lives that are very different. And we now understand that. And we can live in a happy, strong marriage. And that's what we want for you. That's why Alan and I wrote the book, Strengths-Based Marriage. That's why we're doing this series of programs, is to help you to come to an understanding, a better understanding, that God made marriage in such a way that He brings two beautiful, wonderful, unique people together in a marriage where we share our strengths together and that we make each other stronger because of the complementary nature of our lives being shared together. And I hope that this has been a blessing to you. And I hope in just a minute we're going to remind you about the resource offer today. I hope that you'll make yourself available to some of the resources because they really will bless you. And so thank you for being a part of the program today. If you're not a partner with us here at Marriage Today, please consider becoming a partner. We have different levels of partnership. But when you become a partner with Marriage Today, you're helping us go across America, around the world, helping people thrive in marriage, keeping little children together with their parents, and helping a new generation to understand marriage and not to be victims, but to be victors in the area of their marriages. Thank you for joining us today. Here's how you can become a partner with us.
When you stand with Marriage Today, your individual effort multiplies with other like-minded partners, and together we can rebuild the dream of marriage for couples around the world. Being a rock-solid partner with Marriage Today grants you immediate access to an exclusive library of the ministry's resources and intimately connects you with our mission of helping couples succeed in marriage.
That's really why we became rock-solid partners, just because there was so much available to help us to help other marriages heal the way that we have.
That's why we're tied into the ministry. We want to be able to bless and give so they can keep doing what they're doing.
You're guaranteed if you listen to any of the resources, you read the resources, you come to a conference, you will be changed.
Everyone has something to give, and there are millions of unreached couples who desperately need the marriage-strengthening resources of Marriage Today. That's why we need you to join us. Become a rock-solid partner with the ministry and mission of Marriage Today.
Thank you for joining us today.
Support Marriage Today with your best gift and receive the Strengths-Based Marriage book and Lifelong Love Affair.
Join Jimmy and Karen Evans on February 10th and 11th for the XO 2017 Marriage Conference. Register online at xomarriageconference.com.
Become a rock-solid partner today and connect with the mission of Marriage Today. Together, we can help couples succeed in marriage.
This program is made possible by the generous support of our faithful partners.